As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light every darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me.
If you could please get comfortable in your seat and close or lower your eyes. Let's go ahead and take a deep collective breath in, breathing in the peace this moment is. As you exhale, allow any thoughts or feelings that are not aligned with peace to be released. Let's take another deep breath in, evoking love. As you exhale, allow any thoughts or feelings that are not aligned with love to be released. Now we will do an exercise written by Sharon Salzberg, bringing to mind a circle of love. Visualize yourself in the center of a circle, composed of those who have been kind to you or have inspired you because of their love. Take a moment to breathe their love in, and as you exhale, breathe your love back to them. You are now in a circle of love. As you visualize yourself in the center of your circle, experience yourself as the recipient of their love and attention. Take a moment to breathe in their love and attention, and as you exhale, send them your love and attention. This love is with you always. As you are safe in this circle of love, affirm to yourself with loving kindness, may I be safe. May I be happy. May I live with ease. Now, send those in your circle of love on their way with these affirmations of loving kindness. Slowly, in your own way, come back to this room. Maybe that's a deep breath. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes. As you come back to conscious awareness, remember and know you are always surrounded by your circle of love. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Namaste.
Namaste.
You put me in such a beautiful space, Amy. Thank you. It was beautiful. Good morning, everybody. So great to see your faces, half your faces. Do you know what you are? You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. Walked in at the right time. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. It's me. It's me. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Yeah. You are the face
you, please close or lower your eyes as I guide you in this affirmative prayer. I am awakened to the truth that expressing through all creation, it is divine spirit incarnate. This endless source for good to flow through me, as me is me. And I know if this is true for me, it is true for each person who is here today and who hears my word. I am one with all right here and right now. I know that God is love, God is peace, God is resolution of temporary conditions. I know our country will be changed. For the good of this country. Be the change you need to. I move us forward in life to a higher consciousness and vibration. I am so very thankful and grateful for this sacred space. And grateful for our reverends, our entire ministry and prayer team. So happy and grateful to hear Patty and Dave sing such beautiful music. And I wish I could have sang here today, but as you see, I have a hoarse voice from my lovely allergies. Anyway, to our technologists, to our audio, to our amazing, amazing volunteers who are selfless in helping this center run with such ease and grace and love and light. I am so, so thankful to be here today. It's been a while. And I'm so very grateful for all the prayers for myself and my family, and my dad, and he's coming home this week. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release my word into the perfect workings of this law, which I know I manifested, and I practice my principle, and I practice. That's all it takes. It doesn't work unless you work it, and one of my mentors taught me that first day. As you feel that new energy and vibration, and any goosies you may have, let's say together, and so it is. Amen.
Gina, you're beautiful, so heartfelt. I'm so happy your daddy's coming home. It's all good. This is good news.
I would celebrate his 93rd birthday.
93rd birthday. Her daddy's been in the hospital very, very sick, and you made him well.
We all did?
Yes, you did. Beautiful song by Gary Floyd. Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, feel every think I've been there too, 'cause I'm a seeker just like you. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here, so take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Lay down, lay down, lay me down. Unbound. Open your mind. Unfold your hearts.
Patty Powers and Dave. Oh, Patty got the pink memo. All right, you look nice today. Bet nicer today. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Reverend Cheryl Bell, co-senior minister here, along with my sister, Reverend Stacy Hilton, which you'll hear from a little bit later. That is not a warning. It's just to let you know. Just letting you know. If it's comfortable for you, if you would please stay with me. God bless America and the rest of the world. And the rest of the world. Because we are one. We are one. Today is the first Sunday in August. OMG. What? Someone's already trying to sneak out. Oh my goodness. If you have a birthday in August, we want to celebrate and sing happy birthday to you. This is Patty's favorite thing, so I have to let her do it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
I think we have a couple anniversaries this month, too.
17 years.
17 years. Oh my God, well, since you were 10?
Well, this one's for you.
And you.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
All right.
And many more. I can't believe I missed that part, sorry.
And many more, many more. Welcome to those in the audience. Gina was a little emotional. It was her first day back since we reopened on Father's Day. Welcome. I think she has an anniversary this month.
Yeah, my nursing career, my brother's birthday, the 16th.
Oh, okay.
36 years.
Her nursing
And I'm still
nursing career, 36 years. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, someone asked Stacy and I the other day if we were still having a good time. We're like, well, yeah.
Of course.
Of course. You know, if you aren't, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're having a good
Time
time.
at work.
And you're still having a good time. You're still having a good time.
I strike them.
Thank you all for being here in the audience. Thank you all for being on your couch, on your sofa, your lounge chair in your backyard. I heard someone say. Wherever you are, thank you for being here with us. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rod.
This is another beautiful song written by Gary Lynn Floyd. It's called Love Cover Me. Revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love I me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light every darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Oh, love, cover me. Love, cover me. Yes, love, cover me. Love, cover me. I will not be shaken. I will not be moved. Love, cover me. May my heart awaken. Tenderness be proved. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 yeah. I will not be moved. Love, cover me, right every mountain. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Yes, love, cover me. All we are is love, 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 love. Yes, you are. You are love. You are love, love, love. You are love. You are love.
Good morning. As I said before, I'm Reverend Cheryl Bell, co-senior minister with my sister behind me, Reverend Stacy Hilton. The theme for this month is inclusion in action. 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 You know, our talk title is Who Are We? And when thinking about who are we, not just me personally or Reverend Stacy personally, but our center is what I thought about. I'll let Reverend Stacy tell you about CSL and several other things, but it's really personal to me, not necessarily telling my personal story, but what this center and this teaching is to our members and to what I want, at least what in my mind, what it is to the world. You know, let's begin with the definition of inclusion. It's the action or the state of including or being included into a group or a structure. When I first came to the center in 2003, the senior minister, the founder at that time, Reverend Cynthia Clare, she was so open and loving, and it's hard to describe. She was so, I felt so included. I felt so And she did that every day, every week. It was something that she included myself and Stacy in. And I believe just to know that we are, what Patty said, love. And we had moved here from Los Angeles, and we had gone to centers, Agape specifically, but we were here a few months before we even attempted to find a center for spiritual living or a religious science center. And when we found this center, it became our center. Reverend Cynthia just went out of her way to include us in everything that was going on here. And we accepted, which is the biggest part of the whole thing, is we accepted everything she gave us. We accepted being included. We accepted taking classes. Well, not at first. Some of us had to be drugged a little bit. I'm not, telling tales. Of course not. And, of course, it could be me, but it wasn't. Anyway. But even when Stacy and I were in ministerial school, driving to LA every single month, sometimes twice a month, she had a practice of sometimes doing what we don't. We're trying to rename it, but she called it Stump the Minister, where people would take questions and put in a basket, and the ushers would bring her the basket, and she would answer the questions in the basket. And for some reason, she, in her inclusivity, decided that I could answer some of those questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not answering those questions. I'm not, no. So on that day, it's like, what do you do when your mother calls you and say, come here? You go, right? It's like, okay. And she handed me a question, and I did answer the question. I was surprised that I even, it wasn't like, it wasn't too personal, and it wasn't about me, so it was about the teaching. So, oh yeah, I know this stuff. I've only been in classes for the last 6 years, But that was fun. That was the inclusion. Even just being in classes or just hanging out with her, she always made sure we were included in her circle as far as, if her friends came. People in her life and family knew who we were. So we were not a secret. I mean, imagine this, my name is Cheryl and her name is Stacy. Her daughters' names, or at least what they were called, Cheryl and Stacy. Sherry sometimes, but yeah, we thought that was funny and certainly a sign. People ask us all the time, what do we want to do as ministers here? What do we want to do? Well, I'll be darned. What is your mission? Well, it's on the wall outside. You see it every time you walk in the door. When we had programs, it was in there, but we still got asked all the time. Our mission, and it's one of the things we figure out and have to let everyone know when we're paneling or taking tests for ministerial school. But the mission on the wall out in the hallway, I'm going to read it to you. We encourage people to authentically be themselves, knowing this is a safe place to land. We are accepting of all. We are love and light in expression. Thank you, Patty. And by teaching principle and the tools of science of mind and spirit, we empower and therefore inspire others to do the same, which creates a world that works for everyone. Now, Stacy and I have kind of changed that to include works for all, because we want to be all inclusive. The plants, the animals, everything. Every single thing. And we have worked for the last 6 years to do just what we say, to be inclusive and to be a safe place. Even during the pandemic, everyone's wearing a mask, we're doing what we're told, we're social distancing, we want this to be a safe place for at least 50 of you to come. And if you're safe sitting at home on your sofa, I want you to be there as well, as long as you're listening to some of the things we say. Or not, listen later, it's fine. Who are we? You know, what are we? Who am I? What am I bringing to the table? What are you all bringing to the table? Are you standing in your power and celebrating who you are? Patty told you 500 times, you are loved, right? Are you celebrating that? To me, you are all a gift. A gift. A gift to this center, a gift to this universe, a gift to this time in history. What a wonderful time to be alive. May not feel like it all the time, but I know that it is. That is inclusion to me, because I feel our oneness, and I know that oneness is not sameness, but I still feel that I belong with each and every one of you. You know, in ministerial school, we were asked to tell or explain or describe our ministry. You know, I thought about it over the 3 weeks that we were gone back to Vegas from LA. And when I came back, you know, everyone had something written up, and Sarah was like, you didn't write nothing down. You know, she was always on me about my homework. Always. Which is a story we can talk about later. And so when it came to my turn, you know, I didn't have any paper to read or anything, because what I told our mentor and teacher was, my ministry is whatever I'm doing. My ministry is me. My ministry, if I'm baking cookies, that's my ministry. For a bake sale for the teens, or for some of the people here today, that is my ministry. If I'm baking a pie for a teen fundraiser, that is my ministry. If I'm up here speaking to you all, talking about this very thing, this is my ministry. If I'm in the office doing the quarterly taxes, that is my ministry. It is all my ministry. My service to this center, to each and every member, and to humanity is my ministry. It's not a secret. I just want to make sure you knew, that's all. You know, like so many folks, contain a myriad of identities, you know? I mean, our tech person is not just a tech person, she's a stepmother, a wife, and the most creative person I know at this time in my life. You know, we transform and we have millions of experiences over the course of our life. And whoever we are at any given time is who we are. This may not be me in 5 or 10 years, but it will be me. Does that make sense? For sure, we are emanations of the divine. Each of us is unique, and at the same time, we're unified. We're one. I do not know how many times we have to tell you all this. Oneness is not sameness, and we don't have to be the same. But we are all love. Right, Patty? You know, I have a quote. Oh, it's on the screen. Isn't that cute? Oh, no, that's our mission statement. I have a quote by Howard Thurman. There is something in every one of you that awaits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true God you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will all of your life spend your days on the ends of strings that someone else is pulling. Thank you.
Good morning again. It's kind of messy up here, you know. My Virgo mind doesn't appreciate that. It's okay though. It's okay. Let me grab this. Who are we? I struggled with that for a moment because I always tend to tell you who I am. I give you my stories, I tell you who I am, I tell you, what I had for breakfast, what I had for dinner, what wine I drank with it. Not with the breakfast necessarily, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I decided that I would talk more about Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living and CSL. So Centers for Spiritual Living is comprised of more than 400 spiritual communities, teaching chapters, study groups, and other ministries in 30 countries and growing. These communities teach a New Thought philosophy that brings religion and science together and offers spiritual tools to transform personal lives and help make the world a better place. Which means CSL, in my mind, came to me this morning, CSL is an amphibian. We're not just living in the water. We're not that typical Christian church, but we're not that either. So we're kind of a both and kind of place. I'm going to read this to you, and I know you've all heard this a million times, but not necessarily everyone that has that's watching us has heard it a million times. I'm going to read this. More proof that I too am an amphibian. The third branch to be organized and chartered was in East Los Angeles, led by Reverend J. Arthur Twine, an African American with a congregation both black and white. When some complaints were murmured about this, resulting in the June 1945 issue of Science and Mind magazine dropping East Side from first to last to the hitherto alphabetical listing of metropolitan LA branches and tacking on the designation colored, Ernest arranged with his friend, Reverend Twine, to go there and speak. To a hushed, packed house, he began. I had been told that too many non-Caucasians attend these lectures. True, there are Caucasians and non-Caucasians in this congregation. But this we must affirm. We are all children of one living God, one life that permeates all without exception, one intelligence that governs all, and most important, every man and woman who abides in the universe is a significant entity in the one universal consciousness. Our doors will forever be open to all. Whoever you are, be proud. You are a divine idea in the mind of God. The magazine immediately reverted to the way it had been. Somebody had briefly bowed to the segregationist conventions of the day, only to be reminded that Ernest's teachings were anything but conventional or exclusive. Reverend J. Arthur Twine was my great-grandfather. And so I too am an amphibian. I'm an amphibian. I walk on land when it's good for me to walk on land, and I also can hang out in the water. I'm good with that. I didn't realize, though, until fairly recently that those of us that aren't comfortable walking on land, they didn't really realize that they're fish in the ocean and that they're just part of the water. Not just part of the water, but they're part of the water. And they're not really comfortable on land. I'll explain more in case you're not quite grasping me. So based upon my own experience and my own background as an African American woman, I realized that diversity has always been important to me. Always. And not just race, but class, socioeconomic status, orientation, age, anything that makes us different. Those that don't identify as a gender, those that were biologically one gender and now have moved over, which are called trans. All of that is important to me based upon, maybe it's just in my DNA, maybe it's in my subjective memory from my great-grandfather's time, whatever that is, but the diversity in this center, it's not as much as we might think, but you can really see it in the Ministry of Prayer team. Amy's not even, I won't tell your age, but she's got a big birthday and doesn't begin with a 5.
I don't think it begins with a 4 either.
just maybe barely, right? Which most of us are older in age. Most of us are older in age. Some of us have gray hair, some of us have brown hair, some of us have blonde hair. In the Ministry of Prayer team, we are very well diverse, and I love that about us. I absolutely love that. And so in 2014, when I became a minister, or right before becoming a minister, there was this committee being formed at CSL called the Diversity Committee. And I asked Reverend Cynthia, I said, can we have them come, please? Because I want to talk about diversity. And she's like, yeah, sure. As Reverend Cheryl said, she was always so loving and so kind, and always had a willingness to be inclusive of us. Now, if you are a fish in the water, you might not understand how that might feel to be excluded. But as a frog or a tadpole, you might kind of understand that you're not always in the water. Sometimes you're on the land. And so to be included is, as Reverend Rafe Ellis, part of the Diversity and Inclusion Commission, would say, it's not just being asked to dance, it's being asked to dance. And how about if they actually played the music, some of the songs that you like at the dance, and being asked to dance? It's a difference between diversity and inclusion. And so, at the time, 2014, we were big into this terrorist attack thing that was going on, if you remember. And so, what I had asked Reverend Cynthia could I take on Wednesday night service and build up my speaking chops, because I'm never going to speak on a Sunday, and could I have like a diversity thing, maybe with Interfaith Council, do some interfaith stuff. And so we invited the mosque, and many of you will remember this. And some of our biggest Wednesday night services were really when we had kind of question and answer with the imam at the mosque, which is right down the road here. And I love that. I love getting to know about someone else and how they are in the world. I love different foods. I love just to know that, yeah, I'm you and you're me, and you like that? Well, let me try that. That's kind of cool. Or, I'm glad you like it, but it's not for me. Because that's what being a part of the human experience is. I like land, I feel comfortable. But I also like the ocean and the water. I'm an amphibian. And so, as the Minister of Practitioners, which is one of my other duties here, I really focus on allowing the practitioners become who they are and who they want to be and how they want to show up. I don't want to just say, you do this. Kitty, you're excellent at the announcements. If you don't want to do it anymore, don't do it. Do what you love. Do what you love. And it's also mine to do is to bring the fact that, we all don't swim in the water all the time. Some of us are just simply land dwellers. And some of those land dwellers might stroll in here on a Sunday. And if they ask you for prayer, you kind of need to know what they're talking about. Does that make sense? And from the other side, some of them only swim in the water. And they really don't care about the land. So from the flip side, you better understand about the water. Because when they ask for prayer about what's going on in their world, they want to know what's going on in their world. And so that's what we focus on at Ministry of Prayer. And I have people, designated people, Kitty happens to be one of them, who actually work on their prayers. Being a practitioner just isn't about praying. Anybody can learn to pray. You learn prayer the first couple weeks you walk into that classroom. But it's about your consciousness expanding. It's about you growing your awareness. It's about you realizing who you are and how you show up in the world, and that not everybody in the world is like you. Oneness is not sameness, as Reverend Cheryl said. Direct quote from Tracy Brown. And that constant evolution, and when you stop evolving as a practitioner, it's time for you to go. Licensed practitioner. Licensed practitioner. And as I said last week, practitioner, know thyself. It's our job to know who we are. Because if I have a block about something and somebody comes up and asks me for prayer or for counsel, and I'm not aware that there's a block there, if I'm not aware that I don't like the water, then there's a problem there. There's going to be a problem when someone asks me to pray or asks me for counseling. And the flip side is the same. There's a couple of people that I absolutely adore, and you're going to be surprised by some. You're going to be surprised. Yeah, we know Martin Luther King and the Dalai Lama. Because they are who they say they are, and they show up exactly in integrity of who they say they are. John Lewis. I don't know how many of you watched the service this week. Absolutely, just a man. This is who I am, this is how I show up, and this is what I'm going to do. And he did that his whole entire life, and is so well respected. Mitt Romney, I know you're surprised. Mitt Romney and John McCain. I'm an amphibian, I gotta do both. Mitt Romney and John McCain, they show up. John McCain is gone now. But they believe in what they believe, and they stand for what they believe, and they walk their walk, and they talk their talk. I'm not perfect at this. And I'm just kind of really getting my sea and water legs, if that makes sense. Right? And so I still fall down, or I still, miss a stroke. But I am committed to doing both and. There's a quote. Somebody, Russell, will you show the second quote? Yes. The beginning of love is the will to let those we love be perfectly themselves. The resolution not to twist them to fit our own image. If in loving them we do not love what they are, but only their potential likeness to ourselves, then we do not love them. We only love the reflection of ourselves we find in them. Yeah. So science of mind has brought me, even though this is the teaching of my family, it wasn't always science of mind. It just happened to be what my family believed in. And they weren't even necessarily practicing it. But science of mind has brought me to the place that my life flows and it works by using the teaching and the tools. That's why I signed up to be a minister. That's why when someone asked us the other day, are you still having fun? When I'm not having fun, you'll know, because I'm out. I don't do that both and. I'm done. Not every day is going to be a bed of roses. It's just not. But I signed up for knowing that it's both. And so I don't get that twisted. Somewhere along the line, the Diversity Commission is deciding to be the Diversity Inclusion Commission, which I really appreciate, because when the Diversity Commission first came here and they facilitated their workshop, I really just saw the fact that all of us are pretty similar in this room. We probably, most of us probably went to college, had some college, if not that, we have a love of reading, because you don't just pick up Ernest Holmes and just read. It's not that type of he's not that type of guy. So there's a higher level of education on some level, whether it's traditional or not, but there is that. Probably we're pretty similar socioeconomically. We kind of live in certain parts of, I know I haven't memorized your addresses, don't worry, but kind of live in similar neighborhoods. And so when I first took the workshop, I was like, well, this is the same, we are all the same. We just have different skin color. And around the time that the Diversity and Inclusion Committee Diversity Commission became the Diversity Inclusion Commission, it occurred to me to look a little bit more deeply, a little bit more at our differences, because they are back. And because Reverend Cheryl and I'm going to call you an amphibian, hope you don't mind.
No, I'm fine with it.
We kind of dwell in both worlds. You know, when we get home, we might be completely land dwellers. You don't know. Or the opposite. But I have found, as of late, that not necessarily Reverend Cheryl and I, but those of you that identify as amphibians, you probably maybe didn't know as much as you do today as you did 4 or 5 years ago about the land dwellers. I'm being silly, but you guys are getting my drift, right? Right? And it's important that you don't, but you don't know what you don't know. So there's no blame, there's no shame, there's no guilt. But there is our responsibility as Science of Mind people. We have to be aware. Be aware. That's all. Next slide, please. Creating a culture of inclusion starts with creating a culture of awareness. I liken a self-awareness strategy to having a full-length mirror. Keep checking yourself in that mirror, because the success of inclusion depends on the authenticity of your leadership. And so this year we started our book study. We have 13 to 16 or 17 people on our book study. 70 books that normally might not be so easy. Me and White Supremacy is not an easy read if you are a fish. If you're a land dweller, you're like, yeah, well, duh. But if you're a fish, I know I'm a fish, I don't really need to read that. Or that doesn't apply to me. But for us to create a world that works for all, don't we have to know where we are and that there are differences? Because how do I help you if I don't even know you? And why don't I know you? Why wouldn't I take the time to know you? You're in love. I'm love. We both come from the same Creator. Why wouldn't I want to know you? And so as my awareness continues to evolve, I bring to the community new thoughts about being amphibians or whatever Spirit brings to me. I bring about the Healing Words Book Club. We continue to work with the Interfaith Council. And opportunities just arise because finally, almost next month, 55, I'm aligned with who I am spiritually and as a human. And not every day. Some days I need to go to a chiropractor to get an adjustment. But most days I'm pretty well aligned. And when I'm aligned, I feel good. You feel good. And when I'm not, I just notice that everything just goes down the rabbit hole very, very quickly. And so I consider myself a lucky girl. I'm going to show you one last video before I have some closing thoughts. Some of you might have seen this, but I brought this to our practitioners at a practitioner retreat, and it was done differently. And I actually was going to have you do it one day as our community. But this whole privilege thing, it gets a bad rap, so watch. I'll be back.
Shoulder to shoulder, take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up, we're about to race. And we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this, a $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I've said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody's back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the league that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool.
And so, the first time I did that exercise, we were in person, it was a bunch of ministers. And I started a race, and I'm pretty aware of how privileged I am. And I said, Reverend Cheryl, I'll come back and get you. But to be very honest with you, Reverend Cheryl has beat me to the finish line 1,000 times and always has come back to get me. And so she's gonna make sure, she and I both are gonna make sure that for those of you that have the courage and the love of humanity that we do, if you're interested, we promise to make sure that everybody gets to the finish line. It's what we signed up for. And so, be it a land dweller or a lover of the swimmers of the sea, know that you're loved here. And Reverend Cheryl and I support and love you right where you are. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverends. And you feel that love and that acceptance the second you walk in here. It's wild. I love you. Please don't cry. I love you. All right, just sing it. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Sing with me. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Yeah, 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 yeah. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Come on. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Everybody get up on your feet. Come on. See the light in everybody. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. What? One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. High five. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. Yes, one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, baby. Oh, come on now. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Come on, everybody get up on your feet. Come on now, see the light in everybody. Let us be reminded about who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Another great song by Gary Lynn Floyd.
You know, it's been a Gary Lynn Floyd. Oh, no, was it?
It's a Gary Lynn Floyd
Gary Lynn
today.
Floyd all day.
Funny how that
Thank
works
you,
out.
Gary. Thank you. Oh, I'm happy tied to him now. Oh, that's right.
Feel that energy? Feels like the good old days.
Yeah, I know. They're all good to me.
They are. Well,
This is our time for.
before we didn't have these.
I know, giving and
Real
receiving.
sketchy.
Oh, I know. I guess the good old is pre-pandemic, right? I had to look that word up. I'm like, pandemic. Oh, let's just take a deep breath. It's been, we're having probably, well, there's no such thing as too much fun, but someone will think we're having too much fun. And I don't care.
I already told you, when the fun's out, so am I.
All right, you know, this is our opportunity, your opportunity to be a blessing in your life, your own life. You know, we are not passing a basket around. We do have a basket in the back for those that are here in person. We accept gifts in the mail, online, PayPal. If you would say with me, our affirmation, if you know it, and if you don't, just listen. And I say it a little bit different than it is on the screen, and it's okay. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless my gifts. I send them forth to heal and bless and prosper. They are evidence of my faith and belief, and they do good work in the world, and they return to me multiplied abundantly. Oh, and I would love to share those stories with you. And I just simply give thanks. I give thanks for each and every person in this sanctuary. I give thanks for each and every person watching from beyond, because I know that we are one and we're all in the same room together. Believe it or not. We're each a blessing to one another, and we are each loved and blessed. I'm so grateful for this time. I'm so grateful that your gifts can allow us to continue to share who we are with each and every one of you. If you would love to give, we also have a text line where you would text Lvcsl to 725. I don't know it by heart, guys. Where is it? 725-502-2505. And our tech is probably having that run across the wires also. Gosh, thank you for being a blessing in my life. I simply say thank you, and I love you. And so it is.
And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Yeah. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Okay, well, the announcements for today on August 2nd are we are still having our conversation with the Revs on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. So just join us on Zoom to have a conversation Saturday morning. Reverend Stacy Hilton's her Healing Words Book Club meets the last Wednesday of every month. And this month it's on the 26th of August at 4 p.m. via Zoom. And the book is called How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. So just call the office if you're interested in joining in on the list and being a part of this group. And for prayer support, you know, we all need prayer at certain times, and I need it every day, so, you know, but for prayer support, just send your prayer request to prayer@LasVegasCSL.org, or just text 702-524-7096. And if you would like prayer today, we have our very own Daisy Spikes waiting for you right now. And she will do a 1-minute miracle or any kind of miracle you want. She'll provide, I can assure you. Her prayers are just over the top. So by all means do this, and you can either do this through Zoom at 311-862-9400, and the passcode is her name, DASIE, or just call her at 702-273-9664. We have our annual tamale coming up. I'm so excited. I'm actually going to have a big old tamale party for my family on Sunday. So I'm ordering 40. So I'm encouraging all of you to do the same thing because they're just $2 each, you know, and we're just going to have a blast. So what you need to do is you need to order by Wednesday by going on our website, www.lasvegascsl.org. And/or I suppose you could call, but we've got to do this by Wednesday the 5th so they can make all these tamales. And then we're going to pick them up next Sunday here at the center, or if you need them delivered, they will deliver the next day. They meaning all of us. Somebody from us will be delivering your tamales. So one way or another, boy oh boy, Sunday's tamale day, okay? We're gonna make it annual from now on. Okay. Now the Heart of Peace meditation is not this Wednesday, it's next Wednesday on the 12th of August. And we're going to have Karen Jones again doing the sound bath with the bowls, which I just love. And Jeffrey Seeley will be opening with prayer. He's just a wonderful ministry, so he's going to be opening for us. And the Freezer Full Project, we still need more food to put in our freezer, and we also need people to come and take food out of our freezer. So we need both. We need both, you know, just come in, bring in, take out, whatever needs to be happening there. Family game night, we're collecting board games for Power 2 Parent, number 2 Parent. And their goal is to get 100 games. I think we're getting pretty close, but we can still use some more. So let's keep bringing our games in. And just remember to look for Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living on Amazon Smile when you shop at Amazon, which I've been doing now that I know. And I'm actually ordering, believe it or not, I'm ordering more things now that I know I can go on to do. I bought some insoles, bought a hat, you know, come on. Anyway, so, and in the bookstore and the gift shop, we have books on sale against the wall and lots of jewelry and fun things in there. And just so you know, this is one of my joys serving, being the messenger of announcements. So have no fear, you're stuck with me.
So if you would just close your eyes with me. Let's just take in all the good stuff from today, that energy. Well, we may not be back fully, but we're back enough to where I can feel that love and that energy coming back at me. Whew. And so I'm just grateful for all that has transpired this morning. For Reverend Cheryl and my being able to tell you exactly who we are. And for you being able to see exactly where you fit. Maybe you are an amphibian. Maybe you're a land dweller. Maybe you're a sea dweller. Whatever kind of dweller you are, it's all right by us. And so we're just grateful. Grateful to know that there are more people coming along in this world that are waking up and having the courage to know that the both and is even better than either or. So I just say thank you for this day. Thank you for each and every person here. Thank you for each person that has tuned in and that plans to tune in a little bit later on. Thank you for Patty and Dave, Yvonne, Charlie, the boys in the booth, and Julius. It is a good, great, grand day. Celebrate. And so it is.
And so it is. If you are comfortable, or repeat after me, even if you're not comfortable. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind. I feel it in my body. And so it is. Have a great week.